But Norwegian and other European papers are reporting that he was involved with the modern Knights Templar, and they're planning terror attacks against Muslim lovers, basically, to use one of their terms, in the United States as well. So, I mean, the globalists have really gotten a little obvious. The Knights Templars, their Illuminati group, now it's fighting the Muslims when the government's actually opening the borders wide up. I mean, this is white al-Qaeda. This is how the government's going to have an excuse to shut down free speech, the internet, track people, chilling effect, shut down the Tea Party. It's not going to work. And it's as phony as a $3 bill. It's as phony as Rick Perry being a conservative when he was Al Gore's chief of staff for president in Texas, if you look it up. Let's go to Scott in Oklahoma, Frank, Robert, Beth, and many others. Thanks for holding, guys. Scott in Oklahoma, go ahead. We got to move quick.
Alex, thank you for your spot-on analysis, and thank you to Webster G. Tarpley, a.k.a. The Brain. This does appear to be more than NATO, but mainly CIA, DHS, and Mossad. The drills and the level of sophistication of the bomb make me curious as to why the terrorists chose a national holiday. How much of a hand do you believe that the CIA and Mossad have played?
Well, I mean, I know that UPI, Jerusalem Post, just search Israel founded Hamas. Israel runs, quote, fake al-Qaeda. I mean, that's Israeli newspapers are saying that. They created Hamas to be a counterbalance to Hezbollah. And I know the CIA has been caught staging countless terror attacks on record. And so the point is, if we have governments and agencies that stand to gain in wars and police state and weapons contracts and surveillance contracts from terror, if they don't have terror, they're out of business. So, yes, this thing stinks to high heaven. And the system wants to go after the Tea Party, the real Tea Party, not the Republicanoid one. So I appreciate your call, Scott. Good points. Frank in Louisiana. Frank, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yes, Alex. You know, this whole thing is, you could see it coming. The international diabolical bankers, they know they're in trouble with all of this TARP, the trillions upon tens of trillions, and it's not going to bail them out of their hundreds of trillions of dollars of these worthless bonds that they put out there.
And so now they're trying to get the Muslims and Christians to start killing each other.
They need a war, Alex, and if you recall, the mysterious thing was when they were taking out Mubarak. Kissinger comes on and he states, this is just the beginning of a series of events. Then it was about 2 or 3 weeks after that, they go after Gaddafi, that was a non-belligerent. And the reason
exactly. And now this guy puts a manifesto out being read by millions of people, you know, that's very professionally produced, meant to invoke Europeans, whites, Christians to wage war against Muslims to get the fight going as a political diversion. Sorry, I mean, it's just like CIA-connected groups published the Mohammed with a bomb on his head things to get riots going. I mean, this is the oldest distraction in the book, and there's going to be copycats that carry out attacks that aren't government from this. You better believe it.
Well, the scary thing is that right now they're talking about going against Iran, and I think they need a war to take the pressure off them, because people are looking at the international bankers, this diabolical elite. And the only thing I can figure that they might have gone after Gaddafi was because he was trying to start the North African Union of Nations. And remember, Kissinger came out with that State Department number 200 that was targeting places like Africa for the genocide of third world nations.
He said we can't let them develop. We got to get wars going between them to reduce their population. Absolutely. Gaddafi was coming out with an African currency, and that wasn't about to be put up with.
Yeah, that's the same thing that they took the Shah of Iran out for. He wouldn't take the American dollar.
Absolutely, Frank. I appreciate your call. Great points. Wish I could talk to you for 10 hours. Robert in California. Robert, you're on the air. Welcome.
Hey, Alex. How are you?
Good.
Good. Well, yeah, just the whole thing makes me think back to 9/11. I remember, Bush, had just been selected, and I was just naively thinking, well, he's a lame duck. He's not going to be super aggressive, and I was really surprised that he... Let
us never tolerate outrageous conspiracy theories that question who really carried out 9/11. Remember that 2 days after 9/11, he said, don't question who did this?
Right, but my point is like I knew that day it was a false flag. Like my landlord woke me up, and we turned on the he showed me the TV, and it's like a plane hit the building. I was just waking up. I didn't know what was going on. When the second plane hit, we just looked at each other and we're like, "This is Bush," we know that it's a false flag. We know about false flags, right? So you're anticipating it, ahead of time.
Exactly. And I don't know if you listen to the show often, but have I not been screaming bloody murder that they're running a public script that now the white Christians are going to attack? I mean, who really believes this? I mean, come on. One guy killed 93 people.
It's like you don't have to wonder, is it a psyop? If it's being presented to you, it's a psyop. That's, people need to wake up that everything is a psyop. I mean, everything you experience in public school, like Charlotte Iserby was saying on your program, is a psyop. I mean, everything you experience in school is a psyop until people realize that.
Well, I agree. Even if something isn't a psyop to begin with, they will spin it that direction. Like the White House Chief of Staff said, he said, don't let a good crisis go to waste. They certainly do that. Beth in Texas. Beth, you're on the air. Thanks for holding.
Yes, Alex, you talked just briefly the other day about how after this Norway attack that the next attacks would be probably in the States. And you specifically, you really didn't go into it, but you just mentioned Austin and Dallas, and being that I'm in Austin also, I was just curious why you specifically mentioned Texas as being a high possibility for one.
The Council on Foreign Relations likes to brag. They'll publicly admit they're going to stage a terror attack with almost no veil of denial. You can just look up Gary Hart-Rubin Commission, Council on Foreign Relations, Steering Committee, and he wrote a letter to Iran saying, we staged Gulf of Tonkin, we staged these other events, the Maine, you better back off, we'll stage something and attack you. And the CFR, same guys, said Dallas, Cleveland, Denver, one other. And then another report, they said Austin. And they want to hit Austin because this is now the capital of resistance. I mean, there's more. Everybody's moving here because I was here first, and people somehow think geographically, and plus it's a great place to live, that this is where the resistance is. And so due to people's error, believing it was because I was here, it now has become the center of the resistance. Let me tell you something. I went out yesterday to the mall and the restaurants and was mobbed everywhere. My wife was like, this is getting scary. I mean, everywhere. I mean, I'm not talking about walking down the street. A few folks talked to me. I mean, I had groups of people around me everywhere, and I'm just one person. And so that's an illustration of how many people are awake. So they would love, I mean, I'm telling you, you put all the pieces together, the establishment would love to hit Austin so they can really bring in some police state loving and try to scare folks into submission, Beth.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am, but you've still got a much better chance being killed in a car wreck in Austin than you do being killed by a terrorist.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. And also the other thing is I think Texas is known. It's one of the 2 states that you can actually homeschool your children in without a lot of government interference.
Exactly. Texas is leading the way resisting tyranny. It's like Oklahoma was leading the way against Clinton. They had a 10th Amendment resolution to nullify Clinton's activity, so they, hit him with Oklahoma City. And, folks, I could spend 5 hours just on OKC. I'm not just saying that was an inside job. Watch my film for free online, Road to Tyranny, and we have the local newscasts and everything with the admissions, the police talking about it, the bombs being removed, Southern Poverty Law Center running Elohim City. I mean, really chilling, hardcore stuff. Thank you so much, Beth. Those were great calls, and I've got like 10 other callers to get to, and I don't think I'll be able to. Real quick, Chris in Canada, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, Alex, how you doing?
Good. Only got about a minute.
All right. Well, I was reading on Al Jazeera today, and I found an interesting article. The title is "Nationalists Pose Bigger Threat Than Al-Qaeda. Contrary to popular belief, most terrorist attacks in Europe are the work of extremist nationalists."
Yeah, I'm glad you raised that. The Arab press is going nuts, because they're mainly British intel run, blaming Christians, really using this right now, saying, yes, the Christians are the devils, lock them up. I did see that article. It is just an orgy of disinformation.
Yeah, tell me about it. Like, talks about a lot of, quote, nationalist terror plots in the UK. There's Robert Cottage, Nathan Worrell, and, of course, Timothy McVeigh himself comes up a lot in this article.
Oh, yeah, no, they are hyping. Get ready. The white Al-Qaeda is going to attack. Give all your rights up. Trust no one. But don't worry, right on time at Walmart, the telescreens are going in saying only trust government. See, government wants us all fighting with each other, all at each other's throats. You know, the new Homeland Security video said white al-Qaeda is going to get you. Are they talking on cell phones? Are they writing on paper? Do they have vans? Are they white? Look out, they're going to get you. Only Obama will save you. God bless you all. Great job, crew. Infowars.com. See you back tomorrow, 11 a.m. Central, live. Ask yourselves, what are you doing in this time of great challenge? What are you doing to unlock minds?